But when it comes to bringing people together, which is kind of the
Hugely
focus
important.
of what we need to really start doing.
Yeah.
It just seems like we're so divisive right now in our country and in the world. How are you going to help people understand each other?
Yeah, I think that's really important, and I think that starts with, and this is a position that's very local level, and I think the most important thing, one of the most important things a state representative can do is constituency services work and helping the people locally with their needs. And in the Attorney General's office, I was part of a team that started our Community Engagement Division, a shockingly novel division in state government. It's all about bringing the office to the community in times where it's easy and accessible for working families. So after 5 o'clock on the weekends. And if elected, I would be committed to holding office hours here on Nantucket several times a month and making sure the community can come to me with their issues, because one, you're a public servant, that's what you should be doing, right? But two, and we found this out in the Attorney General's office, it helps inform your work on a daily basis, to hear what the community needs and to hear what people need help with. And I think that's what Tim Madden's been terrific at that, and that's something I'd like to continue and even build out more upon.
What about people that like Donald Trump?
Hey,
how do you deal? What do you think of Donald Trump?
Look, I think that a lot of people in our country have not seen their wages go up in a very long time, and they're incredibly frustrated. And so in that frustration, I think it's very easy to turn to a candidate who kind of ignores the fact that we have some real institutional problems with our country, and instead scapegoats and says, you know what, it's not these institutional issues, it's the Mexicans, or it's the Muslims that are the real problem. And I sympathize with the people who are struggling, but the problem is not immigrants, and it's not minority groups. The problem is that we have real institutional issues when it comes to the over-influence of money in politics and our political system, and the like. And I get it, but I just don't think Donald Trump is the answer to that.
So who did you vote for? Who would you support right now? I mean, were you a Hillary person from beginning?
Right now I'd support Hillary. Was I feeling the burn? You bet. But one of the things that I would advocate for to shake things up, that I can get at locally, to shake things up nationally, is passing an amendment to end Citizens United. I mean, this is the Supreme Court ruling that allows for unlimited money to flow into our political system, and you can see how it's really corrupting it. And that is something that Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders have both really talked about. And, our Congress is not going to repeal it, right? So one way to get at this, and Lawrence Lessig, Harvard professor, really bright guy, wrote a book on this. One way to get at this is for state legislators from across the country to come together and pass an amendment repealing Citizens United. So that is something I would absolutely advocate for in our state house, and that is something where on the local level we can create change nationally.
Right, okay. That's something you can do right away.
And look, nationally, the two biggest issues, as I said, are income inequality and the pervasive influence of money in our political system.
Keeping jobs here in this country?
Yeah.
Can you understand that?
Oh yeah, of course.
But at the same time, when we spend our money overseas and we create jobs for those people, their standard of living goes up. It's less likely that we're going to get into conflict with them because economics matters, right?
Yeah.
We're not hearing politicians talk about that or in support of supporting I mean, I understand keep the jobs here. I'm all for it. But at the same time, if you pull everything back home, and you may create something that you didn't think you'd get in the first place, which could be conflicts. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I think that to get at your point, I mean, trade and economic partnerships are a great way to steer clear of conflict, and we've seen that. I mean, that's just historically that's been true. When countries shut themselves off from the rest of the world, like you see with North Korea, there's the new trade agreement. I think the TPP, a lot of people, including Bernie Sanders, are against it because they want a better deal for our workers.
I understand why President Obama likes it. But I do sympathize with the fact that our wages haven't gone up here, and we do keep allowing the super rich to have more control of how the whole system works.
Yeah.
And it seems to be in favor of them.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what it's like on the Cape, but we've got an amazing boom going on here. And so, therefore, you're seeing a lot of people from all over the world coming here to work. Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, look,
immigration. Should we
yeah.
control it more, or is it?
I think immigration's a great thing.
Okay.
And also,
now, one more question: how are you going to bring more people, young people like yourself? Do you see that changing?
Yeah.
I mean, are more people going to get involved now? I mean, it's a pattern that has been around for a long time. I mean, they've got lives themselves, and it's tough to get into be involved. But do you see a?
I mean, young people are they're a fairly transient group. Off to college, trying to make a life for himself, maybe bouncing around from city to city. But look, our campaign has been really committed to involving young people in our process, and we have a lot of young volunteers. We have a whole internship program of young people who are committed to involving their friends, and that is just really. That is just really welcoming and heartening to see so many young people get involved locally, because we should start at a young age when it comes to giving back and when it comes to getting involved in our society. I think it's really important.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
So vote September 8th, right?
Vote September 8th. Would really appreciate your vote. And I'm here all the time, so give me a call. My number is 508-292-5451, or my website is dylanfernandez.com. So you look it up, get some more information there. But it would be an honor to get your vote. And look, when politicians look down in our region, right, they see the beaches, they see the lighthouses, but a lot of times what they fail to recognize, we have some really serious problems here around the issues that we talked about today: affordable housing, environmental issues, and the like. And we need someone like Tim Madden who had experience up there fighting for us. And I want to use my experience up there on the state level to help fight for our communities on the local level. So Gino, thank you so much for having me. I love your rig. This is terrific.